Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Relationship Advice. Our first post is by GB Cremo. My 25M girlfriend, 26F, broke down in tears because I didn't get one item from our grocery list. We were supposed to have supper, let's say spaghetti with cheese on top. Not really, but I don't want to get too specific, and I didn't get the cheese. Some might say that it ruins the whole dish, some might not care too much if it's there or not. So we were out shopping together. And as we're going down the grocery list, I ask my GF if we want cheese, to which she says no. We finish shopping, go back home, and I start making the dish while she showers. She gets out. I let it simmer for a bit and go shower. Once I get out of the shower and am about to serve it, she suddenly asks if we bought cheese. I look at her and say we didn't. I say I even asked her if we should get it, and she said no. She says she thought I was asking her about something else. To be fair, what I asked her and what she said she heard is different by one syllable in our language. And both of these things could go together with the dish I made. I assume she did mishear me. At this point she gets up and says she's not gonna eat it. She got some leftovers from the fridge and went to the other room to eat. I figured it's best to let her be alone for a while, so I ate part of what I made for the evening. After some time I go to check on her, and she's laying in bed crying her eyes out. I was taken aback, as this was not a reaction I expected at all. I tried talking to her, but she both refused to eat it without cheese and didn't want me to go and get it now. She was extremely upset and still crying a lot. She told me she was very hungry and didn't eat much through the day, and now she feels even worse, cause we went shopping together. Then she waited for me to put the dish together, but in the end she couldn't even eat it. I know it sucks to not eat much through the day, say I could kinda understand where she was coming from. I decided that at this point in time there's not much else I could do but go and get the cheese, which I did. I came back and found her eating some snack we had left. I asked her if she would like to eat now, that we can heat it up, but she adamantly refuses to eat that dish and doesn't want to talk with me either. She earlier said she's going to be sleeping on the couch tonight. If she goes through with it remains to be seen. I'm wondering what I could do to try and remedy the situation. Do I just let her be? I'm struggling to fully understand her point of view. As for me, it doesn't matter if a particular ingredient is missing or no. To some extent, I see where she's coming from, but not fully. Thoughts? Our next post is by Dindonk. Is it weird that my 35F sister-in-law, 34F, keeps saying I've won the husband lottery about my husband, 35M, every time I see her? Me, 35F, and my sister-in-law, 34F, both married into the Jones family about 7 years ago. I married one brother, Jones 1, 35M, and she married the other brother, Jones 2, 38M. At the time, Jones 2 was a successful businessman with charisma and decent looks, but tended to be more prideful and risk-taking. Jones 1, my husband, was more shy and earned a moderate amount but was also more humble and risk-averse. My sister-in-law and I became fast friends due to joining the family around the same time. While my relationship with Jones 1 is not perfect, we are always able to talk through our issues and find solutions that work for both of us, and get along well. This was not immediate, it took some work on both of our parts to get there. My sister-in-law and Jones 2 have been going through a rough patch over the past 2 years since their third child was born. Some of it has probably been the stress of having multiple kids, but some of it may also be relationship stress. Jones 2 doesn't contribute to housework, child rearing, won't agree to marriage counseling, and adds to the kids' mess. Since the beginning of their rough patch, my sister-in-law has commented on how caring and sweet my husband is, and how I've won the husband lottery with him. I didn't think anything of it the first time she said this, but she has said this multiple times at this point. Most recently, she's been saying it every time I see her without our husbands, even when the conversation has nothing to do with him. Should I be concerned about how often she is saying this, or is this just a nice compliment? Update. I talked to my husband about talking to Jones 2 and he doesn't think it'll work. I won't push him to have the conversation. Sister-in-law has since made more comments comparing my husband to her dad. I'm going to keep an eye on her and offer support, but also just be honest with her that these comments are weirding me out. Our next post is by Anna Banana. I, 27F, recently tested positive for chlamydia, but my boyfriend, 29M, didn't. I didn't sleep with anyone, and he claims to haven't either. So this is definitely a weird one, and my boyfriend's behavior has been so weird from when he initially told me he went and got tested. 6 days ago, my boyfriend told me he tested positive for chlamydia. I was so outraged, so many things going on in my mind. I didn't sleep with anyone throughout these 2 years we have been together. I of course thought he cheated on me. I asked him, he swore on his own life he didn't. We talked on the phone and he was actually really convincing. I thought initially, maybe he got it before we started seeing each other and just never got tested. So I asked him about that. He said he actually did get tested once 1 year ago and was negative. Then I was outraged some more. He said he went and got tested because he was having painful urination. We kept going back and forth. Later, I guess he got his actual results. He showed me a screenshot. And what did the results say? That he was negative for chlamydia and gonorrhea. I asked him why he told me initially he had it. He told me when he was talking to the nurse, they told him it could be this. But my first question was, why the F did you tell me you tested positive when you didn't have your results? This to me was super weird. But I had calmed down because seeing that result put my mind at ease that he didn't cheat. However, one weird thing was that he kept insisting I go get tested. He must have mentioned it 4 times that same day, and kept telling me, send me your results when you get it. If he didn't cheat and I didn't cheat, and he already had a negative result, why was he so insistent I get tested? I got tested the same exact day we were talking about all this. I got my results a few days later, and I was positive for chlamydia. What the heck? Same thoughts came back. He was definitely cheating on me. I showed him my results, and his behavior was super weird. I mean, he did ask me if I had slept with someone else, and that he wouldn't be mad if I did. What the heck? I mean, if I knew my boyfriend cheated on me, I would be livid. He seemed completely fine. He said, just go get treated, babe. Now I know it's possible I could have given it to him from my previous relationship that I was in. But no, I had actually gotten tested in 2018 after my ex and I broke up, and 4 other times during the course of our relationship. I was negative each time. I only got tested during our relationship because I was having weird symptoms like discharge, burning, urination for months, and my GYN would always automatically test me for STIs. One time I was tested during my PAP. My boyfriend tried to convince me the times I was negative could have been a false negative. There is absolutely no way all these times I got tested were false. He also tried to convince me I probably had this for a long time since my ex had cheated on me with multiple women. Honestly, my theory is that he cheated on me, started having symptoms, went and got tested and treated, got tested again to show he was negative and then tell me about it so he could put the blame on me. I know that I very well could have a false positive, but how common is this really? I'll go get tested again just to make sure, but this is definitely not the behavior I would expect from my boyfriend. Update. I went and got tested at a different clinic just to rule out the possibility that the first test was a false positive. Well, this second test, I did test positive for chlamydia. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but now I can confidently say he did cheat on me. Our next post is by Throwaway. My wife, 33F, takes our children to her first husband's grave every year, and I, 34M, don't know how to feel about. My wife was married before me to her high school boyfriend, but he died in a car accident when they were 23. I met her a year later, and we started dating within a few months. We got married when we were 26, and now we have 2 children, one age 2 and the other 4. She has the habit of visiting her first husband's grave on the anniversary of his death, January 6th, every year with our kids. She also places flowers and lights candles at the grave. I have never gone with them because she has rejected the idea in the past, and I feel she doesn't seem to want my company there. I don't know how to feel about this. On one hand, I understand that she still misses him, and that he was an important part of her life. I don't want her to forget him or feel guilty about being happy with me. On the other hand, I feel excluded. I wonder if she still loves me as much as she loved him, or if she sees me as a substitute. I worry about the impact this might have on our children, whether they might become confused or something similar. I have tried talking to her about this, but she simply tries to avoid the subject. I love her and want to support her, but I also want to feel secure and respected in our marriage. Should I insist on going with them and try to be part of this ritual? Should I ask her to stop taking our children to her first husband's grave? How can I handle this situation? Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.